This episode is brought to you by O2, the official recovery drink of the Noble CrossFit Games. For more information, you can use the QR code or you can click the link in the show notes below.
What is up, everybody? Happy Monday, Best Hour of Their Day podcast. Good podcast coming to you guys today. Trish, CrossFit Babylon. By the way, if you guys don't know, we do dropping ins. We like to make trips. We like to do the rounds. We like to go to affiliates, highlight affiliates, affiliate members, box owners, what's going on in the community. That is literally what we love to do. Well, actually, it's what I love to do. Jay hates leaving his basement because he has agoraphobia, but we're trying to break him of that. What I mean by that is, if you don't subscribe to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a ton of content on there. We do a ton of shorts. We have the podcast. We have the dropping in series. We have a bunch of educational content on there, tons of stuff on the YouTube channel, and the IRL podcasts, which we're now calling them because they are in real life with people. Those are our primary podcasts in there. Check them out. It's just really cool to get outside of the virtual world, into the box, and back to normal. So check out those podcasts. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you do, I'll make sure that Jay stops writing on his whiteboard and leave you guys alone on Instagram. Outside of that, check out the merch. You can get cool shirts like this one. There's a ton of cool merch on, or gear or merch or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. Cool stuff in the store, online, besthour.com. Just click at the top right. You can go through the whole store. There's a ton of cool stuff in there. There might even be some unique shirts, I'll say, coming. A Fern shirt, a Jason Ackerman shirt where he may or may not be riding a lion. I don't know. Check it out. But lots of stuff coming soon. Stuff like this Care shirt, quality over volume shirt, Ego shirt. Lots of really, really cool stuff in there. But please check that out. Also, affiliate owners, if you have not checked out O2, I literally don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're blowing it. Check out O2. Retail in your affiliate is important. Also, O2 is just a cool company. Dave's a rad dude. They do a lot of good work for affiliates. They're going to give you free gift cards. You can hand those out if you have an onboarding process. If you don't have an onboarding process, hit us up at Affiliate U. We could help you out with that. That is quite literally our bread and butter, along with a lot of other things we help box owners with. But that is just some of the stuff we got going on. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out our store for some really cool swag, merch, gear, whatever you want to call it. O2. One of the title sponsors for the games, good friends of ours. They've been on the podcast. Check it out. But more importantly, check out this episode with Trish, Babylon CrossFit. What is really cool about this story is getting to watch her go through her journey and getting to tell that story and seeing where she's at in that process. Like most of you know, if you're an affiliate owner, it is a process. There's a series of growth. There's seasons of ownership, and really getting to catch her in a pretty significant season of ownership where she's transitioning to a new box, the growth she's had, the changes she's made, the impact that it has on her community. Really, really cool to see. We're stoked to see where she goes. She also happens to have been through Affiliate University. She's been working with us for a while, but really, really excited for you guys to check out this episode. She has an amazing box. If you're in the New York area, Babylon, you should definitely check out. It's beautiful inside. They have some really cool stuff in there. Check it out. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Drop a comment in there if you have questions, anything we can do for you. If there's things that we can answer for you or help you out with, hit us up. Instagram, YouTube. I'll give you Jay's number. You can text him directly, 8675309. That's his number. Go ahead and text it to him. Outside of that, enjoy this episode, and we'll see you at the end.
Can we start now, Trish?
This is the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. I'm Trish Evangelista. We're at my affiliate, Babylon CrossFit, and today's podcast is about working for myself.
And we're going to talk about your journey in transforming what used to be your old little gym into this amazing new space that you have.
And she cries.
A little bit.
Welcome to the Best Hour of Their Day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez
and me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
as both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day.
All right, guys, welcome back. Best Hour podcast. Fern, Marcus, Trish, Evangelista. We are here in a brand new 9-day-old.
Is it 9 days?
9 days affiliate.
Monday's 2 weeks, so.
Yeah.
Got that new box
It
smell.
does have a new box smell. So not a new affiliate owner, but did just move into this space.
Yep.
You have been on the podcast before.
I
not
have.
So true.
Not in person.
Not with the real host,
Right.
right?
Well, the first one was so popular. I like what you did there.
Yeah. Good.
That was our
I'd give him-
stand-in.
He
Yeah.
stood me up, so he's gonna get jabs all day.
You're gonna
we
fit
were
in well
busy,
here, yeah.
so Ackerman did the show. But it was a really well-received episode. And so now we have the honor of getting to do it, another one with you in person.
Cool. Thank you. I'm excited, nervous, everything in between.
We're excited to be on your show.
Yeah.
My show.
Thank you for having us here at Babylon CrossFit. I will take credit for that big sign on the roll-up door back there.
Nice touch.
Yeah, but so let's talk about the move real quick, and then we'll go back in time and we'll talk about
Cool.
affiliate ownership. But 9 days ago, this is always like a nightmare. This is a gym owner's nightmare. Is like taking your thing and moving it.
Yeah, it was scary. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. Like my husband's like, we got to get trucks. I'm like, we don't need trucks. We have members. Like we use their cars.
What do you think I've been training them for?
I'd rather spend money
Everything
on
we have
something
done
in the
has led to this
facility.
day.
Yeah, like they could do far. Literally, so it was only 800 meters away. So like my old spot is right up the road. So from the sense of moving clients and moving equipment, perfect situation.
Today's workout is grab a piece of equipment, go 800 meters down the street, drop it off, sprint
We
back.
did think about that, but then like you have to worry that your members are gonna like drop something and break it, and I don't have the money for that either.
I signed a waiver.
They
can
what
pay
we
for it.
did was we got in here a little bit earlier. So my lease started May 1st, and the previous tenant let us in about 5 days early. So I was able to get the painters in first. We got the whole place painted. We got the flooring down, everything done, and then after that, we just started slowly moving things in that like we know we needed. And then Saturday, we ran a park wad in the morning, so closed that affiliate down. Had everyone meet at the park, do a park wad, and then I said from 10 to 12 o'clock, whatever members are available, like, and you have a pickup truck and you want to come help and do something, come from 10 to 12. And then I told them, like, after that, leave. Because the one thing I didn't want, like, as much as I love all the help, having too many people to, like, be like, oh, put this here, I needed it to be, like, my way. But we got it done, and we literally did it. We only closed one official day, not including the park wad. So we closed down Sunday and then reopened Monday, May 2nd, I think, here. That was my first day of classes here. And like, I literally didn't want to leave. I just wanted to stay and not leave because I was just so excited to see everybody's reactions coming in, and it was so much bigger and better.
You did an awesome job with this facility. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really
I didn't do
nice.
it alone, that's for sure. There was a lot of opinions, a lot of good advice from branding purposes. We have a member who did all of like my signage, so he made my wall ball targets. So we tried. A member did the painting. Everything we tried to use with in-house that like we could help our members out, like they support us kind of thing.
We were literally just talking about that with Louie. Like it goes both ways. Like you can
Literally.
solve so many problems.
If you can do that, then it goes so much further.
So how long were you at the other space?
October 2019, but that affiliate itself has been there since 2014. So it was affiliate there on Main Street since 2014. So about 8 years that affiliate was open, and this was the first time it moved.
Okay. And then, so 800 meters, got it. And then, so a couple things. When you moved out of space and moving here, what were some of the considerations? Because I just find this to be fun. When you came in here, I have not been in your other space, but you came here and you're like, this is what I want. Like,
So at my old space, we had.
Scoot up just a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
You blew it all.
You had one rule.
One
Trish.
job.
One job.
Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
Because I was about to. At the old facility, we had only 8 squat racks. So that was like one thing in my head, that the coaching and having a weightlifting day off the rig was really stressful for all of us. It was like you have to partner in threes, which is fun, great, but at the same time, like sometimes you just want your own rack, right? So my goal was to, initially we had both rigs off the wall. And I was actually speaking to you and Ackerman about this when you guys were together, but we're
still together. We haven't actually broken up yet.
When you were physically together.
It's coming.
We took this one off, and then when we laid it out and we saw like the flooring and just like thinking barbell wise, we literally laid barbells out on the mat, and then I was like, I don't want to move this one off the wall. And I don't need to right away, right? Like we have the uprights for it. If I ever want to and I'm ready to, I will pull it off the wall. But that was like the biggest consideration, was just having more racks. So now I think we have 4 or 5 additional racks for our members.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and I think more people should put consideration into the space for logistical purpose. They're like, put the rig here, put that, but like think about foot traffic, think about where people are going to be walking in. What do I want in that walkway?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to do the classes, what is going to, like, should we put the barbells over here? Should they go over there? If we put them over there, is it going to create like a nightmare?
Well, and that's all stuff we're still figuring out, right? Like they all think I'm crazy, but I've moved things obviously 10 times since we've been here, and I'll continue to do it. But like splitting the plates up was a big deal for us, because if you're lifting over here,
Right.
you know, and your barbells are over here. So we have barbells on that side, barbells on this side, plates over here, plates over here. It just makes it easier, to your point, like transition-wise, and
I
not
told
cutting across the room.
James, who owns CrossFit Good and Evil, he moved out of his garage just recently. He's opening like in an actual space. And that was one thing I told him. I was like, there's a handful of things that will be permanent right out of the gate. Everything else,
You can move.
leave it. Just don't permanently mount anything other than a handful of things, because you're going to put it there and immediately you're going to want to take it off of the wall because it doesn't work there.
I did have a lot of good advice when we were moving though, to like position the racks and don't load them. Look at the racks before you put any weights on them and make sure that's where you want to keep them. Because like initially the dumbbells were going on that wall. Initially the boxes were going in that corner, and they were like, just don't load anything, see what it looks like, and then make your decision.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot too. That was a really good piece of advice.
I like how you've created moments already. Usually that doesn't happen until further down the line, right? Once things are settled. And this is, I think, part of what's making it look so lived in, even though it's all fresh and new.
Mm-hmm.
You've done a really nice job because you want to create moments. Like you look over and you've got the mezzanine up here. You've got like a whole wellness area going on up there. You've got all the bikes styled in underneath the mezzanine. Everything's nicely organized, and there's a nice flow within here, like this whole member area up here. Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is really, really good.
Ambassadors.
How much is this space, bigger or smaller than what you had before?
It's a lot bigger. So the other space was probably like roughly 3,500. This is 5,200. But the issue is it wasn't functional 3,500. It was like one room, and then you had a side room that we had all the cardio equipment. So you couldn't run a big class. Like I look at my classes now and I'm like, I texted Ackerman the first day on Monday. I'm like, how did I run my classes in that small of a location? Because there's no space here. Like there's no space here.
Well, that's an undervalued skill set, though. So, and it's not something to shy away from. The things that you will learn by having to be efficient with layout and programming, and there are weaknesses you will develop. Like if you open day one and this is the facility you had, there would be some chinks in your armor with regard to where you put things, how you program on it. You just wouldn't be aware of it. But if you start with something, you're like, man, this is tight. I've got too many members. I don't have enough equipment. The space is limited. You become really savvy at like understanding experience when people come into the facility. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to serve you well, because you can't get that if you start big. Mm-hmm. You really have to hone that skill if you start small or you don't have a lot of equipment. And then you carry that skill into bigger spaces, and you're like, now you can create like a really, really nice environment. So this is really good.
And now the challenge for us is learning how to coach in here, right? Having a larger facility, even though it's bigger and it should be easier, it's actually a lot challenging. Like the big challenge right now, we had a coach meeting on Tuesday night, was the conversation of like, when you're coaching on the rig, you don't want athletes on both sides, because then you can't see both because there's a wall here. So it was like, you know, how are we gonna, when I'm coaching the toaster bar later, it's gonna be, hey, everyone come over to this rig or over to this rig. And you'll see like our members will break off, and they're still getting used to it. So if I don't control the room, which will be a challenge later, now I'm gonna get feedback on it later. But if I don't control the room and get everybody on one rig,
you're already on the right path there. But again, that from a coaching standpoint and a teaching and educational standpoint, that's something you have to consider. And when you do have a large space, you have to think about how you project your voice. Is it even worth projecting my voice? Like, why wouldn't I just do exactly what you said? Like, don't yell 50 feet across the room. Have them come into a spot, tell them what you want them to do a demo or something, and then just push them back out. Now what you have to factor that is into your timeline and your lesson plan, because the transition in out, that does start to eat up 10, 15, 20 seconds. If you do that too many times, now you're 3-4 minutes behind your lesson plan and it doesn't work anymore. So you guys will figure it out, but there's always new challenges into that. But you're thinking about all the right things. You're aware of those.
Yeah, and
those
just figuring
changes,
it out. And we're communicating. Like, that's the coolest part. The coaches have been so good about it. It's like, this is what worked for me. This is what doesn't work for me. And like the morning classes communicate to the afternoon ones. And like everyone really just kind of has stepped up and made this work as quickly as possible, and because we had no choice.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. It doesn't look like you moved in here 9 days ago. It looks like you guys have been in here for years.
Yeah, for real.
It looks great.
Yeah.
So
I didn't do it alone, that's for sure. There's a lot of
So how did this whole transition happen? Why did it happen?
So we had a lot of issues in our old location. We were in the village of our town, which we're still in the same village, but we were in like Main Street of our village, and there was residentials behind us. So there was one resident that made constant complaints against the business and was making my life a living hell, to the point that I had to call the police, get a police report against him. Like it got really bad. It was a lot for me to work through. My saying of Babylon CrossFit is one village, one community. We are Babylon Village. We are one community. And for me to upset people in the community drove me insane, because that was completely defeated the purpose of what I had as goals here.
Right.
Like, I want to be the mom who owns an affiliate that all the kids can come here, and we want to do the fundraisers. Like, we want to be a part of the community. We didn't want to be the gym that's pissing another person off, even though that person was wrong. But
that was a mom moment right there.
it was a year and a half of a battle for my husband and I, a lot of meetings with the village, a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted energy. So we were looking for a spot, and we were looking for a spot for almost 6 to 8 months, and we couldn't find anything. And it got to the point, and again, my last time or the one podcast that Ackerman makes fun of me for, because I cried. I cried to him one day.
We'll get you to cry today.
You probably will.
There's still time.
Yeah.
We just
Like,
started. We're
probably
only
will.
13 minutes into this. It's fine.
We just were looking, couldn't find anything. There wasn't another CrossFit here. Him and I started speaking during COVID because neither one of us knew if we were going to reopen. He wanted to partner initially. I wasn't really into the partnering thing because, again, there's really no money in affiliate ownership, or at that time there wasn't money in affiliate ownership. So I was afraid of partnering with anybody and wanted to do it on my own. And him and I just kept a good talking relationship. I had called him a few months ago and said, hey, like, I'm still really looking for a spot. How are you guys doing? Would you ever consider, letting us rent the space? It'd be good income for you, and you would just have a continuous rent. You could sublease the space to me. He's like, no, I'm not interested. And then literally, when I tell you, it was probably like right the week before the open started, I remember like calling Ackerman. I was like, dude, he called. I was like, he's going to give us the building. And it was like a matter of 14 days, lease signed. My landlord was so supportive. I was in a 5-year lease. He let me out early, gave me my deposit back too. Like, you cannot ask for a better landlord in that building. But he understood. He was like, you can't operate your business the way the village is asking you to. So he let me out of the lease early, got this done, and it literally like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
it was
really
wild.
cool.
Yeah. I really loved
It worked
it.
out for everybody. It worked out for this guy too.
Worked out for these guys. Yeah. I mean, and 5 of my members. So there's I call it a Globo Gym. That's the appropriate word, but a global gym on the other side. He's gotten like 7 of my members to sign up already. So we don't have showers in this location. That's a downfall. But on the opposite side, my members can join for $35 a month, and they have a full locker room, beautiful locker rooms, full showers.
Oh, I totally would be that guy.
Yeah. There's what CrossFitter isn't that guy, right? Like, what CrossFitter doesn't want open gym time or like extra time if I'm not going to offer open gyms, which we do. I know you don't like open gyms.
No, that's not true at all. It's all about tell me more, right? Like, I have open gym at my facility.
Okay.
Right,
I thought you didn't.
No.
Just for most, they're doing it wrong, and that's why it's a problem.
All right.
Yeah, it depends on.
I try to do it effectively, which maybe we can talk about if you agree or not.
We
but
could do some
I'll take the
coaching
feedback.
right now.
We'll
We
take
could do
the
some coaching
feedback.
do some coaching right now. Yeah, no, I'm not against open gym at all. I'm against how you execute open gym.
Okay.
Right, like there's a
Time
good
and place.
way or a beneficial way and a not very beneficial way, and most people go the non-beneficial route, in my opinion.
Okay.
So,
Should we dive into that?
I have questions for you now.
Okay.
Let's talk about your open gym policy. How's that work? What do you do?
So I let my coach.
I feel like we've had this conversation before, though.
No. I don't know.
It's new to me, guys, so let's get it going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So,
All right, here we go.
What I do is every week I give my coaches the options to host open gyms. So if they are here personal training, or if they are doing extra work, if they're coaching like the 5 and 6 and they can't work out at the 5 and 6 in the morning and they want to work out at 7 a.m., they can host open gym. That's also the hour in between 5 and 6, 7 a.m. is like my main open gym, and then we have an 8 and 9 class. So the transition time kind of makes sense because by the time coach is done cleaning up, the next coach comes in.
Right.
It makes sense. So we allow coaches to send me open gyms by Sunday of every week. I post them in Wodify, so it's fair to everybody. That's my big thing with open gym, and a downfall I think on Long Island affiliates is that they make it like separate for their friends. Like, the affiliate owner is going to work out with his best friends. Like, no, to make it inclusive to the community,
Right.
it should be posted and communicated out to everybody. I don't like the individual stuff. That's not for me. So I make it a rule every Sunday you have to post it. If you're going to be in the gym, it has to be posted, or I need to be notified like special approval. We post it in our Facebook group, and we post it on Wodify for the members. And then any member is welcome to do it. They have to sign in. They have to reserve. It doesn't count towards my committed club. So if they don't come to class and they just decide to go to open gym, it doesn't count. Yeah, that's really how I run my open gym.
So I've got no beef with that.
Cool.
It's
tight.
It's tight. It's well thought out.
Cool.
It's intentional. And it's not necessarily, none of that sounds like it was done as a response to somebody who had a complaint or
Member dictated.
Oh,
right,
no,
member dictated.
No. We don't let member dictate. Actually, I try to dictate their open gym time. Like, I have athletes that will
And again,
do,
you're supposed to.
Right,
yeah,
you're supposed
like,
to.
It's like, if you're going to do extra work, I'm fine with it, but be logical about what you're doing. Don't just pull stuff like these random workouts these guys make out.
The optimal option is different for everybody, but I think long term, you would want a scenario which you were open all day because your class schedule was packed out for the whole day, and then you would have the space to facilitate what people want to do.
Exactly.
But if I didn't have, for instance, like I have open gym now, but if I didn't have the space and the staff, then I would not have open gym because it would not make sense anymore.
Yeah.
So
now, do you pay your coaches for open gym?
No, because our pay structure is a little bit different. So it's not like they wouldn't be there for hourly for that portion of it, right? They have other responsibilities that's wrapped into their pay that they do when they're on site.
That's right. So you're full-time.
So I have 3 full-timers there. Okay. So they're there, we're operating. It makes sense. Why would I have the facility closed? That's silly. Yeah. So
I don't pay them for mine, but if like someone had to cancel and they had to cover it for somebody else, I would pay them because that's not their fault.
Again, the whole point is like intentional. It needs to be thought out. It needs to be purposeful. It needs to be communicated well, which sounds like what you're doing. So
I've been a part of too many affiliates that didn't do it the right way and it caused drama. Like it's just not necessary. Like you don't if you do it that you just like do pop up open gym because you and your best friend want to go work out. That's how you create these little cliques. And
well, I just gotta we'll call the email too long. It was unreasonably long about that. Somebody had a question about it, and I was like, I don't even need to read this whole email. It was about 17 paragraphs, and I was like, this is way too long. I understand the problem. But let's. I want to talk more about like your journey as an affiliate owner. Right? You're here. This is cool. This is but this isn't how it started.
No. It started almost, I guess, 10 years, maybe 8. I don't even know how many years at this point. 10. I was thinking about that, like when I got my level 1. I think it was I met my husband in 2014, so it had to be 2013 or 2012 that I got my level 1 the first time. And I got it to coach CrossFit Kids. At that point, I think when you needed kids back then, you needed your L1 first. Now you don't. I think back in the day
you could always do them in reverse order. You just wouldn't get your actual kid certificate until you took the level 1. So if you took the level, if you're, I believe this was the way it was for the majority of the time. Let's say you took your kids before you took your level 1, you would get a certificate of participation. And then when you took your level 1, then you would actually receive your credential for kids.
Got it.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So I did it my level 1 first and then my kids after that. And that was my intention, was to coach at my first affiliate and just do CrossFit Kids. And that's what I started to do.
So the gym was just supposed to be CrossFit Kids?
For me. Not my gym. At the gym I was a member at that point. Yeah. So I was at another affiliate that no longer is open, unfortunately. So I started off there, and then my buddy Dave, who's a part of my gym now, who helped me with the whole transition, he owned his own facility, and he needed an adult coach. So he asked me to come in as a kid and adult coach, and then that's when I started coaching adults, which I never thought I would. And I wasn't comfortable. I was terrified. And I remember starting to coach adults, and I went and got my level 2 right away because I was like, maybe this will make me feel a little bit more confident in it. But truthfully, that didn't make me feel more confident. It was more of just being on the floor and doing it. And
who were the trainers at your level 2? Do you remember?
The first time?
How many times have you taken it?
Twice. I'm that person. I took my level 1 twice, and I took my level 2 twice.
Was it the CPC when you took it the first time, or was it the actual level 2?
I had to take a test.
Okay, so it's level 2. Do you remember who the first time?
I want to say it was Melissa Reed.
Okay. She's in Florida now. Yeah, she was up here at the time.
I still follow her on Instagram. Big fan of her. No, I don't remember.
I would think it would have been like Jen.
Jen and Dennis were in my second level 2.
Okay.
Jen might have been Jen was at my level 1 for sure. I mean, I speak to Jen and Dennis.
Owners of,
Garden
both.
City,
Garden City, long time CrossFit seminar staff coaches.
And
just good people.
Super supportive. Like I've actually emailed them a while back to go coach at the gym for feedback, but then this whole thing happened and everything got crazy. So I never actually did.
But us coming to town?
Yeah.
We derailed your progress.
Completely.
That's what we're here for.
Sorry. Set you up for failure.
So got my level 1, level 2, then I did it again. So when I went to go, my level 2 expired. I was like, I want to retake my level 1 because everything was different. Like all of a sudden it was, and it's still to this day. Like I have conversations with my coaches about like the deadlift setup. Like level 1, 10 years ago, they set you up differently in the deadlift versus when they did it the second time. So I loved retaking it, even though like it's not the greatest idea for my growth and development. It was valuable to me, and then I redid my level 2.
Why would you say that?
Yeah,
I think it's.
Well, I mean, like just in the sense of I don't want it to be like I was, if I'm being honest, I was afraid to progress and continue my education because
You were taking it as a way of avoiding the level 2.
Sure.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. That's it's not uncommon.
No.
But I tell you what, I would like to give a lot of people kudos. I think in the last couple level 2s that I've taught, I want to say like 5 people in both of them verbally said at the beginning of the course, I said, had the option to either retake the level 1 or go to level 2. And I decided to retake the level 2. And I said, good for you. I think that's fantastic. And I don't, why would you retake the level 1? Like, let's progress.
Yeah, I mean, if I could go to level 2 free for every weekend, I would. It only makes you better. Like, it really is. Like,
It's the best course.
It really is. And it's so 6 of our coaches have it now, and then it's a requirement by the end of the year that everyone gets it. So I'm trying to host it here again so that way the rest of them can get it. But I loved it. So yeah, but I think also, like, I never thought I would own an affiliate. Like, I didn't have a reason in my head to continue education, to continue to do this as part-time.
So then how did that happen?
So I was getting married. I needed money. I started to go work on an affiliate that is also now closed in Islip, and I was like running
Is there
their
a trend here? I feel like there's a trend.
It's me.
You go to the
It's totally
affiliate and then
me.
they close
It's
down.
totally me. It's totally me.
Trish coaches there, they shut down. They
didn't
have a
shut
CrossFit
down.
next door. She moves in, they shut down.
Might have their coach here. I don't know.
Is your family in the mob?
No,
See,
no,
it's
my
Italian.
husband's family. They're
Okay,
Italian, so I don't know what that
Do
story
they own
is.
a garbage company?
But yeah, I was working there, and I was doing I was doing everything. Like, they would have new people come in on the weekend, and I would be scaling and selling them and modifying everything correctly. And I was like, I'm doing this. Like, they didn't do any of it. And I would close the deals, and they would give me an incentive. And I saw the opportunity here. The original affiliate owner had sold it to actually another affiliate U client, Mike from Bayport.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Mike had purchased it, and now Mike was owning his affiliate and Babylon, which isn't a close distance. It's almost like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, like, depending on traffic. Mike had done a lot of work there, but then I just didn't see things, like, going the way it would go. So I, like, said it to Mike. I was like, if you would ever consider selling, like, I would love the opportunity. Like, my husband and I just got married. Like, this is something I've always wanted to do. I had a full-time job at the time. I was doing everything at Islip. I knew I had more confidence. I was like, if I can do this there, and I really had so many people being like, you can do it, just do it. Like, you're doing everything, you're running everything there. The only thing you're not doing is running the programming. And I was like, that's something I can maybe not be a professional at, but I can get help from. And I do. I use CAP, but I saw that opportunity. Mike and I negotiated. It worked, and now I own an affiliate.
What year was that?
2019. October 2019, September 2019, we came to a deal. October 2019,
That's right.
And then, right before COVID.
Good times.
Good times.
Yeah, but look at you. You leveled up in COVID.
Leveled up. Yeah, I made money in COVID. I don't know how, but I did.
Well, talk about that. So, because you've been, how long have we been working with you? I don't remember.
A year now.
I was going to say at least
just about a year
Yeah,
now.
just about a year.
If we're not at a year, we're right close to it.
So what's that first year like? So obviously you don't know what's coming with the COVID thing. Like, you open up, you're like, yay. Oh my God, this is not what I was
we were
anticipating.
thriving. We were just me and my coaches talk about it. Like, we had busy classes right before COVID. It just started filling up. Everything was happening. And then everything shut down, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I said to Steve, my husband at that time, like, maybe we should just sell the equipment. I can go be a head coach somewhere. I could probably get a full-time job still doing it, even if it's not our affiliate. Like, we made a deal, a really good deal on the purchase. Like, we can make a lot of money on this. And at that time, Rogue was out of equipment. Everybody was buying equipment for their home gyms here. New York just kept getting longer and longer in the sense of a delay. So I was like, we could really make some good money on this equipment. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. I was pregnant. I've always wanted to be, a stay-at-home mom or a working, like, do my own schedule kind of thing. So I wanted to make it work. And then I got fired from my full-time job during that. And we lost our medical insurance. So everything kind of changed. And then I was like, that was my time to make the affiliate work. So I started talking to Two Brain first, had a few calls with them. And I think I said this on the last call. Dennis and I from Quarter Deck Athletics connected through roundtables. So we were a part of the original affiliate roundtables with David Rosario.
Yep.
And Dennis, like, slid into my DM and was like, hey, I met these guys over at Affiliate U. You should have a conversation with them. And then I spoke to Ackerman. I listened to the podcast first. I think the podcast, once I heard you guys on the podcast and, like, the way you were coaching and the way you were instructing, like, coach development, I was like, this is everything I want. Like, you guys live and breathe Glassman and the methodology and everything behind it. And that's what I've always believed in. And that was, like, my closing right there. Like, the podcast is probably, like, the most valuable, not that you guys aren't valuable, but, like,
Really hurt a lot,
it's your,
Like,
it's like the biggest selling
If you guys
point.
have ever wanted to know what it looks like for me to be sad, this is it. Yeah.
It's a sad face.
So yeah, I listened to that, and then that's when I made the bite there, and I knew if I needed to make this my full-time job, like the money we were making, like I wasn't going to survive on it. Or I shouldn't say that I wasn't going to survive on it. I would have been coaching 20 classes a week.
Right.
I could do the business, but
At
I
which point
personally,
you would have not been surviving.
and I wouldn't
Right.
have had fun,
That's
right?
not
Like you just
sustainable.
burn out. Like that's the one thing I feel for most of the affiliate owners. Like when people are like, oh, I coach 10, 15 classes a week. And I was like, then how do you do everything else?
You don't.
How do you make it successful?
You don't. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
It's not possible.
You lose every other opportunity.
It's a math problem. Like there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
It's not do less with more. I'm like, that's not a thing, right? Like you have to sort that out.
And I didn't know how to. And that's where, honestly, affiliate, you kind of like dictated everything. It was like, this is how you're going to make this work, and this is what's going to lead you into this. And I did everything pretty much that was structured, and I still haven't incorporated everything, but I started following that structure, and that really helped.
Well, it takes a long time to implement.
Ugh,
The
beyond.
expectation isn't that you get it all done the first pass.
Right.
This is
No.
what we mentioned on when we were talking to Lou. This is about teaching you a series, a process, right? Of here's how you look at the business, and here are the things we're trying to achieve in the different areas of the business, and where you were and what you've accomplished. I mean, has your business improved?
1,000,000%.
Has your experience as a gym owner improved?
Definitely.
Right? Has it improved for your members?
Sure. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
So all
It's a
the
win.
key things have gotten better,
definitely.
right? And that's just your first pass.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go back and you're going to keep repeating.
Yeah, and
These
you
processes
just keep
and-
implement. Like I still haven't done the 180-day plan. Like
Oh, wait
I've
till
been
you
meaning
bust
to talk
that
about
bad
it,
boy.
no, you didn't. No, you haven't.
That's a good one.
But also like I have my own retention plan, right? Like I have my own way of doing things. Not that I'm saying it's the best way, but I'm not losing people that I'm like,
Well,
Haven't done that in
there's
80
levels. There's levels to everything, right? Which is you probably your retention plan is effective because you have one,
yeah,
right? So step one, have a plan.
Right. We're just talking about this on the car ride here. There's different levels, and depending on where you are when you come into the program, everyone doesn't just get the same prescription. It's just like members in here. It's like, hey, we're going to be squatting. This is the stimulus, but you can do this. You can't do that. And we're going to adjust. You already have something in place, so it wasn't the priority to fix,
yeah, exactly.
right? So it's like, okay, we've got something there. We can leave that alone for now. Let's fix the other
and it
things
doesn't
so that
mean
we
I
can.
won't benefit from improving it. Like I know.
No, we're
that
coming back to that.
I
No,
know.
no.
I know.
There will be a revisiting of things in the near future for you, and then let's go through it again. And now everything goes from where it was nothing to good, and now it can go from good to great.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you keep working your way through, and that's the process.
Definitely.
It does never stop.
Well, when you had originally opened and you were wearing all the hats, what was your biggest pain point? Like what were you struggling with the most? Because this is always a unique question because it's different for everybody. Like some people have different thresholds for pain and they're good at certain things, but for you, what was the thing you're like, God, this is what's crushing me?
Coaching. As much as, and I miss it now. Like now I'm not coaching any classes.
Zero?
Oh, we got to talk to your coach.
Yeah.
Well, I coached the 8-9 this morning to practice for you guys. So I'm going to be completely honest.
Getting
here.
warmed
Like,
up.
I'm not, I was stressed. Like, you have no idea. I'm glad you think this is so funny.
I
Like,
do.
It is
It's
yeah,
funny.
it's-
This
yeah,
is fun
I
for me.
don't
This is
enjoy
like the
any
level
second
2.
of
I'm
it.
like, teach the air squat. And they're like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
I'm going to forget everything.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But why? But why aren't you
because
coaching?
You would, so like, not, I was trying to coach enough so the gym would make money, like
Right.
to save money. So I wasn't paying myself and I didn't want to pay the coaches. So I would substitute that with me covering it so that way I could make money. But you're not really making money. You're just like subsidizing yourself almost, or your
Right.
your mental health. And then you're so burnt out because you're waking up and maybe coaching the 5 a.m. class and then going back to coach the 5 p.m. class. And it's like, when are you doing any of that business stuff that you're supposed to do? And I also didn't know where to start, right? Like, I remember when COVID happened, my friends helping me, like, trying to figure out a plan. And we were like, they're like, well, how much money do you make? And I'm like, I have no idea. No idea. How many members you have? Honestly, well, I have 10 members paying this rate. I have 80 members paying that rate. I have 15 members. So, like, how could we come up with, like, a realistic plan that made sense to save the business? And I didn't know any of that. And that's, like, what made me, coming from sales and marketing and a full-time job, I was like, this is, if I had a boss, like this is always my goal at the end of the day. Like if you came to me and you're like, Trish, what is your revenue? What is your, like I want to have those answers. And I didn't have those answers. And that was disturbing to me. Like how could you own a business and not know that stuff? Like you need to know your overhead. now I know those answers. Like,
what do you think that disconnect is? Because it's not the first time I've heard that story, right? So if somebody comes from a professional background where they have the skill set, and then somehow when they walk into the four walls of the affiliate, they're just like, those aren't important, and they just don't do them.
Hey guys, Nicole Christensen here with Dave Kalina, founder of O2. So I own CrossFit Roots in Boulder, Colorado, and over the years we've had a vetting process for anything that we're going to carry in our store. And really our guiding principle has been, I never wanted any of our members to have to say no to something every day that they walked by, like have to resist the urge for like, I'm carrying a paleo brownie or something like that. So there were things that we were just never gonna carry. Like we're never gonna carry Monster Energy and have people say no to that every time. But O2 is definitely different. So one of the reasons is that it's a pure drink. It's natural. It doesn't have sugar, 1 gram of sugar. So Dave, talk to us a little bit about O2.
That was great.
And and then also about the deal with Best Hour.
Yeah, so the easiest way to think about O2 is a cleaner, healthier sports drink.
Yes.
And so, like Nicole said, it's only got 1 gram of sugar per can, 15 calories total, and no artificial ingredients. So there's nothing you can't pronounce on the side of the label. Everything's non-GMO approved, which we're really proud of. And it's in a can because single-use plastic sucks. And so that's O2 in a nutshell. It's also twice as efficacious as Gatorade. So we have twice the electrolytes as Gatorade, but again, only 1 gram of sugar. So better for you, healthier, and I know I'm biased, but I think it tastes awesome.
So
too.
you can have electrolytes without sugar.
Totally.
Shocking.
Totally.
Shocking.
Imagine that, right?
Check it out, guys.
Is it you don't have time, or you
I think
just
it's you don't have time. I think you again, this is where you guys come in so valuable to affiliates. Like you don't have time because you don't know how to do it. It's not like you get this book from CrossFit. Hey, I just bought an affiliate. Well, I'm actually lying. You have the playbook now.
They do
right?
have a playbook.
That's
Yeah,
true.
shout out JP.
Never looked at it.
Yep. She's gonna read it later today.
But you have the playbook now. But there wasn't that for me,
Right.
right? You would pay your affiliate fee, and then I was like, all right, we'll see you every year for your affiliate fee. So I didn't know what to do. I've had people who've CrossFitted. I have a few people who've CrossFitted for 10 years, and everyone's got opinions, and this works. But again, my buddy Dave doesn't own his affiliate anymore. Like, why? So as much as his advice means a lot to me, I always take it, I listen, I absorb it, and then I go to you guys and I ask you guys, and I take it, absorb it, and I make my own decision. But I think that's the biggest thing is just there's no structured plan for us, and you come in and you want to make it work, and it's fun, and in the first 6 months, you can invest yourself into it completely, and then you just burn out. And you don't know, if you don't have the right tools, you'll burn out.
Well, and I think, too, you don't have someone to answer to. You said in your previous job, you had a boss where you're like, I have to show up. Right. There's no accountability.
Yeah.
It's you, when you're working for someone, and this is the job, and you have to deliver it, you're going to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're then left to your own devices in your own business, you reprioritize. And unless that's something that you enjoy doing or you're really good at doing, it's probably going to get swept aside because there's no accountability. And that's why having a coach or mentor is so valuable for so many people. It's not just that helping you give you a roadmap and saying, here's how you do that, and shortening your learning curve, but it's having someone to report back to.
Yeah.
I do the same thing for myself. I was just talking to Fern about this. I just hired myself a new coach, and I love it. It just lights me up because I know myself. I know I like to be coached.
Yeah.
And so I find someone that I jive with, and then I hire that person or that company, and my production doubles.
Yeah.
Because I have that accountability with someone. I have someone who it's like you want to make them proud, right? If you have someone that you enjoy working with,
that's how I feel. I don't want to fail any of them.
You turn up the volume.
What can I do to make it better? And I truly feel like that's not going to go away. I as long as there's another step for me in this process, I like this leadership and the guidance, and just having Ackerman to text if I'm having a mental breakdown, it's valuable.
As much as he complains, he enjoys it too. So I mean, so in that process, what's that look like for you? So you're coaching no classes right now. Why don't you coach classes?
Because I'm doing other stuff. I'm doing a lot of stuff. This week alone, we worked 3 school assemblies, literally.
I saw that.
Which is
so
so
many
cool.
kids.
We went into a local elementary school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, ran a 45-minute assembly, which never in my life did I ever think I'd be running a school assembly. I was so nervous to the point that I had one of my members bring her 5-year-old daughter on Saturday, did a test run, took the kindergarten kid through literally a dry run of my workout. and I was glad I did it because we changed things there, and then we went and did it, and it was a huge hit. Like, you know, so like giving me the opportunity not to coach in that sense gives me a chance to expand the business. Like my coaches know I'm doing every angle that I can to grow this business and do things like if there's an opportunity with you guys, like having you guys here, like whatever it is, I want to capitalize on it. And if I'm coaching, I feel like I can't do that. But I've also had that conversation with them recently that I miss it. And I know my members miss me coaching. Like I coached this morning. They're like, oh God, like they were like, we miss you so much. And I was like, that's awesome. But also like, why don't you like my other coaches? Like what's going on?
Well, it's got nothing to do. It's not
just
either
refreshing.
or.
I know.
Right.
It's
No,
like,
it's great. I had somebody told me that the other day too, for the first time. They're just like, hey, it's been officially requested that you come back and coach the 9 a.m. at least once a month.
Me too.
And I was like, it took way too damn long for you guys to miss me.
I thought you guys might say something.
It's been like a year.
Well, and then I always have, there was one podcast that you guys had on there, and I always think about it like, people are like, oh, like OB's my favorite coach. And I'm like, that's great. You know, like I don't want to be your favorite coach. Like I want them to be your favorite coach. And that means that they're doing what they're supposed to do and I don't have to worry about it. You know?
Well, you can have both. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be all, like you can have them
All
love
in.
that coach and then you can step in and they have an amazing class and they're like, yep, I got my fix. Right. This is good. Like that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
You're not required. You just show up because you want to, because you miss it and they miss you. It's like a reunion. It's amazing.
And then you show up and you coach one class and you throw a fire class because you don't do it often and it's fun. Like, you know, like
Fired up to do it.
That's it.
I want to point
Pressure.
something out. A lot of people think, and this is due to guidance in the industry, that you in order to be successful in this business, you must be either you have to do coaching and hire out the business, or you have to just be the business person, not do any of the coaching. And the moral of this story is that you had your priorities and your values and what was important to you for this season of your business ownership, and that's what you're doing. You love coaching, but you dialed it back and look at what you've been able to do with that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're never going to coach again. It doesn't mean that you don't now have to just be the business person and just shuffle
it's
spreadsheets.
By choice. To your point, it's by choice. Like I don't have to.
It's supposed to be, and that's the whole point of this affiliate model, is that it's not a set fixed thing. It's your version of this thing for you at this stage in your life and whatever success means right now.
Yeah.
And you're getting to do exactly that. And it's getting to be this. And I imagine because you like coaching so much, there will be a season where you probably inject yourself a bit more again into the schedule and get a little bit more involved because you can.
Yeah, or my coaches
And you
just
want
hate,
to.
or my coaches just hate when I take their
Yes.
class and I interrupt coaching. I'll be like, "Stop! We're gonna do this," like, which is a really bad flaw of mine.
Oh, you're not
I'm that guy.
I'm
totally
putting this
like,
on your
I'll be in
scorecard.
class, be like, "Everyone, stop!" Like, nope, stop.
We're going to talk about that. We covered that in the grad program. Yeah.
I walked into class on Saturday and OB was coaching and we did the refuge, like, you know, the fight combat.
yeah.
I walked in and I started talking. He's like, "Trish, not today, not today." And I was like, "That's my coach yelling at me."
Yep, there you go.
I'll go back to my office.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I
Bad
apologize.
boss.
So, what are some of the things you're working on in the business right now?
Finishing the facility.
Right.
As good as it looks, there's still a lot of like things that need to be done. We are about to head into, starting in June, we're going to start level 2 of like the coach development program of Affiliate U, which we haven't done. So that's a priority. The next few weeks is honestly because of that school assembly. I'm now kind of blowing up with the districts around here, and multiple schools want us to get in there before the end of the school. So that's kind of like my focus right now because truthfully, school assemblies is really good money. Like it's insane for me. So that will really help me out with the new rent. So that and coach development. The one thing I've been very bad at is evaluations.
Writing all this down for your phase 2. This is all in phase 2.
We know Katie's not here right now, but she's still taking notes. That's how good she is at taking notes.
I emailed her this morning.
We'll get an email later.
Yeah.
So I think coach development needs to be more of a focus on me. But right now, to answer your question, like it's been the facility move has completely preoccupied me.
Well, I think I want to unpack the last like 5 to 8 minutes of what we just talked about, and really what you're talking about is you never sit in one seat in the business forever. Like you're gonna move around based on what the business needs, and I think there's a rigid idea about like, here, I'm the boss or the owner or the CEO, whatever, and I'm never moving out of that seat. And that's just not accurate. It depends on what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. So you moved out of the coaching seat because the business needed to have some structure and some guidance, and you can't do that. It's like trying to work out and coach at the same time. Like, you're not going to be able to do both, right? So you have to pick the priority, and it doesn't mean you're not going to come back to coach, but okay, so I'm going to move into this seat for a little bit, and now I've got a stable of coaches. I've proven that the facility can run in that capacity, and now I can sit in this seat, and now what you're looking at is, okay, well, the core thing's good. The classes are filled. The coaches are solid. And now I've got another opportunity over here that definitely sounds like it's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like, and the reason I want to bring that up is because you're chasing something that is unique to you. Not because somebody told you that you didn't just throw a nutrition program in there because somebody said you do nutrition. Like, you started this podcast with saying like you wanted to just coach CrossFit kids. So it's not weird to me that you're like, now I'm working with the kids in the schools and the assemblies. And
that's what I went there on Monday, and like I did the first one. I was like, this is why I started CrossFit.
Exactly,
like,
right? But you can't do that until you get this right.
Yeah.
And now you can branch off and do the other things. But what it looks like is, okay, I've got this passion and I've got this desire to be good at this thing. Cool. And I think where the mistake, just like our athletes do in training, by the way.
I was waiting to say it.
They're just like, oh, I'm good. And I'm like, nope. Like, you're just getting the hang of it. You're not good yet. Once we get good, now we can do the fancy stuff that's like really fun. You're like, oh, I want to go coach all the kids in Long Island. I'm like, cool. Well, if this is great, you've created an awesome vibe here, a good business. Like, you've got solid coaches, and now you can do that. It's only going to enhance the core thing. And that is what these alternative kind of like legs of the business should do. They're not Band-Aids. They're not there to prop up the core thing. They should enhance the core thing. They should make the core thing bigger and better, not be siphoning like time, attention, and all this other stuff off of the core thing. It should be like, once I put that on there, man, this rocket ship really starts to go. And you're doing the assemblies, and all of a sudden you're running kids classes throughout the summer, and it's like Babylon, summer kids camp, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's other affiliates that are closer to those schools that we're doing them, and the schools that are calling me, but we're the ones doing it. Like, we're getting it done. And then the members too, like, they got behind it. Like, you shared that story, and all of a sudden, like, this kid's in this school, and I know this PTA mom, and I know this principal, and it was like, all right, now we got 5 other districts on board. So
beautiful.
And this is, again, like, there's just so many cool things that we're discussing here, which is, when you start an affiliate, really what you're trying to do is have impact in a number of areas, right? Impact on my life. I want to have job fulfillment. I want to feel good when I go home and put my head on the pillow. I want to give other people opportunity. I want to have impact in the community. Like you talked about, like what's your motto? It's one village, one community.
One village, one community.
Yeah. And now you're actually getting to do that. Like you're having a significant impact. How many, if we fast forward 10 years down the road, how many of those kids are going to walk into a CrossFit affiliate after having interacted with you if you're, getting your foot in the door at 5 to 10 school districts? That you're talking about significant impact at this point.
Yeah.
But reverse engineering that, just like focus on the core thing, get that thing dialed in, and then you can start to branch off and use that as a lever to do everything else.
And I think so many affiliate owners get into it with a version of that in mind. Like, they have this vision about how I'm going to open my own box so that I can, and fill in the blank with their version of your impact with the kids.
Yeah.
And then they don't put enough time and energy into getting the core thing right.
Yeah, like, I'm not chasing
before
money.
They move on.
Yeah.
And we said this on Lou's podcast as well, but I'll say it again here. It's to avoid getting through the hard part of getting the core thing right. They skip over that to get to another thing, and they just start bolting things on because they're just grabbing for straws or reaching for straws, trying to find things that'll work because the core thing wasn't working right. It's because you just haven't put in the time or the effort or done the right things yet to get the core thing right. Because once you do get that right, the reason you got into this game in the first place becomes available to you. Now you actually get to go do the thing. Yeah. And that may just be within just doing that core thing uniquely your way, or it's then impacting kids. You name it, doesn't matter. It's all up for grabs, the nutrition path, whatever it is. But it now bolts on and it's complementary.
Yeah.
And now it's the most fulfilling version of this business for you, because now you have a platform. You have a home base, a good thing that you have built that can run. It's got the team, it makes money, it supports you, and the operation enables you to go and make your bigger impact.
Yeah, For sure. And I want to do the same thing in pregnancy and postpartum. Like that's something I really want to tap into. Like that's like my future, I think.
Well, we look forward to seeing it.
Well, I'm not going to do it, so it's wide open for you.
I'm going to Idaho.
I think I might do it now.
I'm going to Idaho in
really
September for 2 days.
No, but
I'm too.
No, you're not, are you?
But it's the novice's
You guys
curse.
have kids yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is too.
Oh, you do?
too.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Professional.
See, again, podcast needed.
Yeah, professional. But it's the novice's curse, right? Like, go back and read that article that Glassman wrote, the novice's curse, right? Like, that's a real thing. And people, again, I say it till I'm blue in the face. I have yet to find a concept or a theory inside of that journal/trainer manual that cannot be applied outside the walls of the affiliate. Like, I've tried for more than a dozen years. The novice's curse applies to business, and I've fallen victim to it. He's fallen victim to it. You've done it. Like, you just have to be aware of it, and you're like, you have to recognize the missteps and realize, oh, I got out in front of my skis. I thought I knew more than I did. I thought I had skill sets that I didn't have, and then you circle back and you revisit.
And that's like, I don't want to, like what I was going to say to you when you were saying what you were saying before is like, I'm not trying to branch out into a million different things. Like, it's more me like trying to grow like my entity, let's call it, like, you know, like grow Babylon CrossFit, because I have 10 coaches. You know, and none of them are full time yet. So like if this school assembly thing becomes, that might be my opportunity to hire somebody full time, you know, or if I branch off into pregnancy and postpartum, then I can have somebody come manage the facility and I can do more one-on-one training with that. So like that's like my vision.
But the key there is that that's unique to you, right? Meaning like I've built the machine that has the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, I want to do like something that's just slightly tangent to that.
Yeah.
And like now I can go pursue that. But if you were coaching 25 classes
no
a week,
chance.
It's not an option.
Nope.
And then you're going to sell it, you know, for pennies.
Yeah.
And then.
Right. Or you do get the opportunities to go do the things that you would want to do with the kids. And now you're so burned out that you don't deliver on them. And now you miss the opportunity altogether.
Yeah. And then I also feel like it just falls apart here if it's not like.
Well, both suffer. All things suffer.
Yeah,
they all
everything
suffer.
will suffer. Exactly.
Yeah, they all suffer.
Yeah.
So what's some of the biggest things that you're working on outside of the kids stuff?
The pregnancy and postpartum, I'm going to Idaho in September. We have a kids seminar starting on Sunday. Nutrition and recovery is something we're building and like trying to dive into a little bit more. I think solidifying onboarding for us is still a process and figuring out what we're missing and
that's always a process.
Yeah, like
I just reviewed it with a bunch of the grad folks the other day.
Like trying to figure out like, you know.
You should regularly be reviewing that because it's a moving target.
Yeah, well, we realized it. Like, you know, like we have a physical therapist on staff, and we have them go through a nutrition consultation. So, like, one of the things I said is like, what we might do is going, and you guys had this podcast recently of like an assessment. So, like doing like a squat assessment in the onboarding, and then encouraging them to book an evaluation with Jared, so that way they meet him, even if it's only a consultation, they know he's available, because we're missing the translation to the members of that he's here doing work up there. He can do soft tissue work, he can do cupping, he can do stretching, he can do all these things. But we're missing that like part of the business. So I think streamlining that part of my business is super important. The other part, we have the other CrossFit members here, right? So they're here for the month of May, and
from the other affiliate.
And we have to do really well this month and make them stay.
Yeah, that's your responsibility
that's
to win them over. It's
Yeah,
not just like they're just gonna take it just because it's here.
Exactly. Like we have to
connect.
Yeah, and there was a huge difference in their membership. You know, they were paying like $100, $120 a month. My membership rate's $165, my lowest. So like that's a big difference, you know. So that we have to prove our value.
But I'm confident that's going to happen, because all the things that you just listed are things that are in the business that are very much client experience pieces that you have a microscope on. You're like, hey, we need to revisit this to make sure that it's appropriate. We need to think about how is this for them, you know, the recovery portion, like how do we add value in the sense that let them know that we do have a physical therapist that is here in-house. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Massage therapist, a physical therapist. My dream is always one-stop shop. I mean, if you fast forward 15, 20 years into the road, I'm like, you can quite literally do anything in that imaginary affiliate. That's what we want to shoot for, because I don't want them to have to go anywhere else. No. I want them to stay here, and I want them to get what they need inside this machine where everybody's connected. Where like, I don't have to make a call to go talk to the physical therapist. I just walk into his office and I'm like, what's the protocol for this athlete moving forward?
Exactly.
That stuff's important. And I think that's the dream, and that's the vision that you're trying to build. And I think that's cool, because again, this is where like we talked to so many, like we talked to Linda McDuffie about it. We talked to Lou about it. Like, this is when it gets fun.
Yeah.
It's when it gets fun. But, you know, to call a spade, getting through the muck and getting through that. It's not fun. It's not supposed to be fun. Like getting to do awesome shit is not supposed to be fun. No. Like you got to pay your dues for that.
Well, so you can understand, so you can actually navigate the ship under speed, right? If you haven't gone and bounced off the walls and the rails a bunch of times, you don't have the context that when speed actually picks up, the business gets rolling, that you can actually steer this thing and keep it on the tracks. So otherwise you don't have it. It's just like someone who makes a bunch of money overnight. Why don't they keep it? Why doesn't anybody who wins the lottery or comes into a bunch of cash overnight keep it? It's because they didn't earn it. They didn't figure out how to get it themselves, so they don't know how to manage it. Yeah. It's the same thing in a business. If you don't learn how to do it by screwing up 1,000 times, then you don't really have the skills to run it at a larger scale. Yeah.
And even in an affiliate, you in our course, like you're still going to screw things up. But you're going to screw up trying the right things is our job. It's just like, hey, we're going to avoid all of that. You're still going to mess this thing up that I'm going to give you.
Join Affiliate U. We'll make sure you screw things up often.
Right. It's the right way. But
it's when you try to take your way and make it our way, and that's when you screw it out.
Right. And that's the point, right? Is like there's no scenario in which you avoid the bumps and you don't come out of this like with some scars. But I just want to make sure that I was moving down the right path instead of 5 years down the road be like, oh, I wasn't even close. I was completely going the opposite direction of where I wanted to go.
I truly wonder if I didn't find an Affiliate U a year ago, like where I would be. I really do. Like I don't think I would be close. I do think I'd be operating, but I have a 2-year-old, a kid that's about to turn 2. Like he'd probably be in full-time daycare. He probably would be. Like he's not, So I always wonder that because I don't know that I know I can confidently say I wouldn't be able to get my business where it was without the program because you can just see it. Like I would have never figured it out. There's no way.
How does it feel as a mom to know that now you have the ability to spend more time with your
Amazing. Kid? Are you trying to make me cry? Is this it? Is this that moment?
This or like we told you to make you
cry? Got to do it 4 minutes before class starts, like right before my members walk in. I cry enough in front of them. They make fun of me about crying.
You're going for more than one cry today.
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, and I don't know how to explain it. It's not something I ever thought I'd have. I always thought like I'd be the working mom, and I still am the working mom, but you're working for yourself. And I don't know, just not having to rush out of the house and have those mornings and be able to, I hate you. Having those mornings on the couch and like just being able to snuggle like that's nice. Like, you sit on the couch and it's 8:00 in the morning and everyone's rushing in traffic and you're home. And it's not that I'm not working, but I'm working for myself and I'm working on my time. So
that's what it's all about.
It's unreal.
That's the dream.
It's truly unreal.
I think that's a good stopping point.
Cool. Yeah, we got class in 3 minutes anyway.
That's true too. I want to make sure you can get this sorted out and get that cry out before you give that whiteboard.
I'm good, man. I even put mascara on for you guys. I don't wear makeup. They're all worried about me.
It's a big day.
They're worried.
Like, what's wrong?
My members are like, she washed her hair. She has mascara on. They're concerned.
So like people come out of town and you put yourself together. This is nonsense. Well, listen, we're super excited to be here. This has been amazing. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
you guys are crushing.
I told you, killer episode. Trish maybe did cry a little bit, but listen, if you love CrossFit the way that we do and you're passionate about your affiliate, this stuff is important. What I hope that you guys took away from that episode is this is a journey. It's a process. You got to fix the right things in the right order in order to have the impact that you guys want in your community. So if you guys have questions, if you have interest in Affiliate University, hit us up. We're happy to hop on a phone call with you, answer any questions you have, and tell you just very candidly if we can help you, if we think you're a good fit. Outside of that, again, check out the store. A lot of really cool stuff in there. Check out O2. Really cool stuff in there for affiliates that can help you on the business side. And if you have questions about how to run retail and how to do that effectively, when to give people drinks, how to price it, where to stock it in your store, what a retail shop should look like, we can help you out with that. We help people out with everything to include the design in their gym, like we talked about in that episode with Trish. But again, thank you guys. We genuinely appreciate you guys tuning in, watching these episodes. Please hit the subscribe. If you guys want to leave us a review on iTunes for the podcast, we'd appreciate it. Jay would really appreciate it. Again, if we get enough reviews, I'll get them off Instagram. I promise you guys, because nobody wants to see his stupid handwriting on those iPads anymore. But thank you guys again. We can't thank you enough. Please subscribe. We appreciate the support. It helps us do everything that we can with regard to helping affiliates, showcasing the community, making these trips, and really highlighting the best that the CrossFit community has to offer. Thanks again. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. We appreciate you choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.